What I wish somebody would told me when I was 20 years old about life, entrepreneurship, that would be beneficial to me back then. So right now I'm 30, so I wanted to make this video, and I was thinking, what are some of the ideas that I have never heard everybody else talk that could be a benefit to myself when I was 20. So let's go. A quick introduction about BlackBox. So this is a content channel from two entrepreneurs. I have an actual business called Sharpify. We help with marketing, and my colleague Matis, business partner also on this media side, he has a business that does 200 million, and together we came to do some content that could be useful to people next to us, because we are from Latvia, we are Europeans. First thing, it is okay to not know, but you should keep looking. Okay. When I was 21, I started to, read some books. I got into some interesting things, and I had many jobs. So for example, I was selling e-bikes, did that, kind of didn't learn some things, but basically quit the job. I was thinking, hey, I need to maybe work in a corporate bank. So I joined the DNB bank. Right now it's a Luminor bank in the Baltics. So I did that because I was like, hey, I maybe don't like these startup things. Let me try a big corporation, Also joined, very big inspiration, very motivated, very kind of, I'm gonna get the career ladders. But yeah, ended up not liking it, and I quit. Then I did like real estate. I was thinking maybe real estate is the coolest shit, like I need to get in real estate, like make deals, build real estate portfolio, etc. Did that, also didn't like it. Also quit after I think 3 or 4 months. Then I was in a telesales, so I was doing outbound calls, 100 to 200 calls per day, trying to book meetings for this phone service, a company called LMT. It's one of the biggest Latvian telecommunication companies, and I was booking appointments. Basically, hey, would you be interested in switching from this other operator to this one? Yes or no? And after that, I was also the manager, kind of going to businesses, meeting them, talking about them, and trying to sell them to switch to this operator, and also selling them SIM cards, because that was the thing. And then later on, I was like, fine, let's do my own thing. Let's try to do my own thing. First thing we tried, my father is a hunter, so we were like, yeah, he had some, so my father is a hunter, and he had some beaver gloves, okay? So he had beaver gloves. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Haven't seen it in shops. It's like a custom product. Let me try to sell that, right? Build the website. Also got featured in some news magazines in Latvia. So I was thinking, I'm the real deal. I'm the big dog. And now it's like money gonna flow. I'm gonna be like rich. And I was thinking that way, right? I was like 23 back then. So ended up not working, no sales, maybe like 3-4 sales got from that. Also miserably failed, didn't know what to do, how to do, and I was delusional young male who was not knowing what should be done in order to make any kind of sales or movement or revenue in that thing. Next thing, still in the university, I was like, hey, there's this business incubator. We had to pitch an idea, so we came up with an idea. The idea was, hey, let's take kid drawings and let's make them in figurines, and that's what we're gonna sell, right? Did that, that was the pitch, did the whole pitch. We got money, we got 6,000 for this startup idea. We used only 500 because, you know why? Because we did some homework, like what we did. Facebook page, logo, website, and that's it. And the action basically stopped. And the thing we were doing was like, why is nobody buying? Like, why is nobody buying? Where's the money? Why is the money not coming? And that was it of the story. And we had 3 people. It was me and 2 other people who were doing it. Basically, we got the 6K, but we didn't even use it. We used, I think, 500 euros back then, because we were not doing any action, no action, okay? Then I have this good experience with electro go-kart centers. My kind of very close friend, artist, who has a company called Blue Shock Race, where they are manufacturing go-karts right now and selling them worldwide, also to America, Japan, etc. And back then, like it was many years ago, 7-8 years ago, he had this center in one of the shopping centers, and I was a manager there. So he put me as a manager to kind of run the business, operate. That was my first experience with being very involved into a business that actually did produce cash flow. It was profitable. But it got shut down after 2 years because the rent for the center was increasing so much that the business was just losing money. So we had to shut it down. But it was a great experience for me to kind of see what it takes to actually make money. What are the actions it needs to be done to make money? Because this artist guy, he was like telling me this you need to do. This is what matters. This other stuff doesn't matter. Do this. And you will have success, okay? So I start to see how it works. Why am I sharing these things, okay? Because back then, I didn't know what I want. I didn't know who I want to be. I didn't know what I want to do with my life. And I think many of us have the same feelings or the same situation. So it is okay to try out more stuff, to try out what you have, and maybe say yes to more opportunities, and just, look around, because you do not know what you don't know. And the only thing and the only way to know is to just try, see, experiment. That would lead, at least for me. Because right now the opportunities and the possibilities, what you could do is like endless. You can be like a gamer, streamer, like a musician, an artist, like an entrepreneur, selling things, It's insanely a lot of opportunity, insanely. By doing all of this stuff, and also some more stuff, which I didn't cover, but I just wanted to make this video not so super long. I found out what I like. I like marketing. I like sales. I like stuff about lead generation. I like stuff about how to kind of build sales teams, sales operations. Like, that's my kind of interest. And I think that interest is right now for 6 years. And I think that interest will just continue to be there. I don't know. It can change. And I'm a human. It does change. Like, the fact that I have a kid now, it also changed my life, and it's changed how I look at things. Like, those things are okay. And it does change. But in the beginning, it's okay not to know. Just continue to search. Second advice I would wish I knew when I was 20. Growth comes from where you are not known. And what do I mean by that? I have this interesting concept, which is called CWH circles. And let me show you. So these are the circles, 3 circles. And hot, warm, cold. Hot, people who like, know you, trust you. And those are people maybe you're contacting every month or maybe often. People in the warm maybe have seen your content, have seen your ads, seen something about you. And cold, people who never know you. Never know you, don't know your name, don't know your face, they have never heard you. Okay, and then there's 2 things: growth and selling. And growth, more or less, you can see on the left side it's more, on the right side it's less, and selling, it's harder and easier. When we start out as human beings, our circles are... The cold circle is huge, but the warm circle and hot circle are very, very, very small. And as we kind of expand, we do our stuff, we become social, as we are social beings, these circles grow a little bit. And then what I have noticed, and I wish I knew, it is how can you grow these circles as much as possible and let people know what it is that you do. And this is, again, in a sense of selling, in a sense of, let's say, making money or getting sales or customers, in that kind of sense, okay? So you want to grow them as much as you can, but the cold, it actually also grows because the population of humans grows, so it's like growing all the time. But you want to grow the hot and warm buckets, because as more you can grow those, the more you can actually expand, reach more people, and grow. And the thing I wish I knew was the selling part, because it's much difficult to sell outside of your, let's say, country than it is in your own country. But what needs to be done? You need to go and build those same things you have in your local country to do it. For example, if I'm local in Latvia, I have events where I speak and people know me. Outside of Latvia, how can I do that? Most of the times, it is content. Of course, you can go speak and network and meet. It will just take a long time. It's going to be slow. But you can do this, like what I'm doing right now. And maybe you're watching this from Poland, Lithuania, maybe Slovakia, maybe USA, maybe India, because many Indians actually you watch YouTube. By the way, they're like the #1 population that watches YouTube. So, by the way, that's very interesting. So that's what you want to do. You want to try to get as more people in your warm and hot buckets as possible. And that's and then eventually what's gonna happen, more people wanna do business with you, more people will be interested in what you do. It's gonna help you to grow. That's what I wanna say. Third advice, nobody actually knows what's going on, but you need to act confident. And here's what I mean. Last, I think 2 weeks ago, I had an online event. You can see here, this is like a video of that event. We actually had 4.5 thousand people watch it live and plus recordings. So I think live it was jumping from 300 to 400 people, like actually live watching this kind of our event. And me and Matis, we were talking about this kind of interesting topic. And I resonated with myself as well because, hey, I remember myself 6 years ago when I was starting out. I was like shy, not confident, and I'm like more confident right now. I'm not probably where I should be. I need to be more ballsy, you know, like that's what I'm trying to do in this video. So I try to be more and more myself and not have this like layer of feelings or emotions that are kind of blocking the real me, how I interact or how I would speak. If let's say we are one-on-one, you're with me, we're like kind of talking, so it's different. And for Matis, he has more business experience, more years, and he was also saying the same thing. So right now, the thing is, right now you can be confident by just being more confident. Start with the little things. Start with your routines. Start with how you show up. Start how you wake up. Start how you go to work. Start how you dress, how you behave, how you talk, how intentional are you in your communication. Like when I say something to you, how intentional are you to actually give the information, the message to the other person? Because many times, I noticed this also in myself past years ago. I'm like talking like, you just do that thing, okay? You just do that thing. And I'm like, you know, it's not intentional, right? And for us as human beings to move forward in life, many times one of the biggest bottlenecks is our confidence or beliefs and how we kind of think about things, what we can or cannot do. And in this sense, me and Matis, we were just like talking about it. The only thing you need to do is just like, you know, be that way. Like start to be that way sooner, not later. Just by day by day, showing up, being more confident in how you show up, what you do, and what you also say in your personal life, and then what you actually do. And this is very interesting. I was watching an interview with Matt Fraser, who is like the CrossFit legend. He has won multiple CrossFit Games championships, and he has been one very dominant male in the CrossFit space. And he also said, like, you know, everybody trains really hard in the competition of CrossFit. But the things that are the game changers are the little things that happen outside of the CrossFit gym, such as your sleep, your routines, how you eat, your relationships with your spouse, partner, or wife, or the other way around. So those things matter. And in the sense of building confidence is the same way. Those other things that are not directly about your expertise or your business or what you sell or what you do impact the way you're more confident. Fourth idea, bubbles and other opinions. So I took a lot of things personally when I was running ads or trying to sell my services when I was starting, because some people didn't like it. And many times I see working with entrepreneurs and helping them, I see them also like impacting about how other people perceive them. So here's the cool idea. Imagine yourself in bubbles. So me as Nix, I have multiple bubbles. So I have a bubble which is Nix in family life, which is my family bubble. And then I have my Nix social media bubble, which is things I show on social media, like how I talk, what I put in, like the YouTube content, the ads. That's a different bubble. Then there's Nix at the CrossFit gym. This is a different bubble. And then there's Nix with friends, different bubble. And then there's Nix with family, different bubble, okay? And all of those bubbles are one big bubble, which is the bubble that nobody sees. But only probably that big bubble only sees your maybe wife, very close friends, because, you know, like maybe you interact with them in multiple bubbles, so they have seen multiple bubbles. And then they know the big bubble. The thing where most people typically give bad feedback, maybe not bad feedback, but bad influence on you, which is in a negative way, which can not help you to succeed and be more successful, is typically about one specific bubble. It's not about the big bubble. It's funny, bubble talking, okay? So imagine it that way. And by imagining that way, you can look at that small bubble, which is inside of your big bubble, and be like, yeah, those people just see that little bubble. And it's okay, because that's what I want them maybe to see. and that's what it is in that bubble. And it's not impacting my big bubble because you know how it is, right? I personally feel like I'm a very good person, and that's what I try to do, being a good person, which is keeping my word, trying to do the best as I can, and always trying to improve what has been wrongly done or not in a good way done, and that is good. And I'm happy about that, and I can go to sleep. I know what I'm doing with my team members or my colleagues or my partners, how I'm interacting, and if anybody writes something online about it, I know the reality, okay? And I know they're writing about a small bubble which they have maybe seen, interacted, but it's a small bubble. And this idea is just very helpful. Many people take it too personally. So imagine it like that, separate yourself from a small bubble and just look at that small bubble and be like, people just see that small bubble. It's not the big bubble. I hope you like this idea. Number 5, everybody is in pain, but who can go longer? And here's a small clip from my first CrossFit competition where this kind of idea kind of went deep on me, because I remember at the event, everybody's doing the workouts to kind of win, to do the best as I can. In some workouts, I was better. In some workouts, I was not the best. And I remember this kind of understanding that, hey, everybody's in pain, but who can just go longer? And what I learned is that you just need to make that decision at that time and just try to push yourself forward and have good mindset. Not about, because like you always want to put it down, you always want to not do it, but then you have this super nice feeling. I remember that in one event specifically where I got second place, I didn't win the event, but when you do pursue to the pain, because I had these questions in my mind, let's stop, let's take a breath, let's break. But I didn't break, but I was continuing to do it. It was not pleasant, of course, because it was like 60 burpees, 60 overhead something, box step-ups with the kettlebells. It was not a nice workout. It was very long and very like I was suffering, I would say, right? It was hard. But I had this great gratitude feeling or sense of I pursued. And I think in our lives, everybody has these situations. Also in a daily life, like for example, today, it is Sunday. I don't know if you can see. It is Sunday, 12 o'clock. And I'm making this content because I told Monday that it will be done. It was Friday and it wasn't done. And I had to come the day I could spend more hours, time to just do this stuff. For example, like shooting this content, because I did one video before this one, and then this is the second one, because I set the target. I wanted it to be done. And it's similar to a CrossFit competition. So at the end of the day, everybody of us needs to just go through the motions, go through the things, because that's what needs to be done. You cannot, I love the saying, you should not avoid the work that needs to be done, because it's hard, and it is hard, and it is not easy for anybody. It is definitely like that for most of the times. And one more example, like what I have seen in my personal kind of physique change. I'm doing CrossFit now for 8 months, and I can say from personally, I have never trained so hard, but as I train hard, and when I mean hard, I mean the hour I'm at the gym, done in a very high intensity. So I know afterwards I'm like fully wet, because I'm like sweating a little bit, a lot, maybe more than other people. I'm like fully wet, and I know I put in the effort, the work, and I see it on my physique changes, like how my little muscles are showing. And I was like, it's interesting. It's very interesting for me to kind of do this, and it's very character building, and I like that. And I like CrossFit that's why, because it's very character building. Maybe in some like gym, like just weightlifting, maybe there's not so much kind of this feeling of character building, because you don't go maybe into those places where you want to quit, but you shouldn't quit because you need to get good score and stuff like that. So that's the idea number 5. The last idea is that at the end of the day, it's all about stories and what you can tell your kids, your friends, your grandchildren, maybe in the future, in a way longer future. And yeah, I got this. Basically, I'm interviewing people in the Latvian channel we have, and also in the English channel. And we have done more than 120 interviews right now with business owners doing from 1 million to 3 billion in sales. And I can tell you from kind of those interactions that at the end of the day, all of that stuff maybe doesn't matter. But the coolest thing that does matter are the stories you could tell. And here's me sharing my screen. So this is like my kind of achievement block, which I write. And I try to write it every week. I started doing it in 2019 and writing some like stupid stuff also. So for example, bought myself an Apple Watch. Like, it was cool for me, you know. I write those things down. My software company has their first 1K MRR. Was pretty cool. Participate in a Hyrox event, and I write it down. You know why? Because my grandma she has like 10 stories she always tells, but it's just 10 stories which she remembers. And I believe that she just doesn't have a place where it's like written, where she could read them through, and she would have so many more stories to tell us because it's just not written down. And that's why I like to write down things, which I have done, because I believe that I forget things, and maybe many of us also do forget things. And in this way, I have at least a memory hook. If I read that, I have a memory hook on a specific memory, maybe in my brain, in this one part, which I don't recognize consciously, but then it gets pushed back to my consciousness, and I have this story. And that's why I love also to say yes to some crazy things, like for example, like maybe running, for like the coolest thing. Like, it's a cool story. So I was walking in the streets in Riga. My acquaintance walks by. He has this like a flashlight on his head. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Yeah, I have a night race today. So I'm going from Riga to Valmiera. It's like 107 kilometers. I'm gonna do a race today." Yeah, let me also do that. So no preparation, no nothing. I like also participated in this event. Went there. The registration was closed, but I did like some good communication skills, and I got in. I participated in the race. I failed the race, didn't finish the race. I quit at like 52 kilometers. But then the next year, I was a little bit more prepared. I did the race again, the night race from Riga to Valmiera, 107 kilometers, and I finished it. But I have this like interesting story, right? It's like a cool story, cool thing, and I just had that because of saying yes to some crazy stuff. So I like to say yes to some things like this, but of course I'm also right now like unconsciously thinking what to say yes to, because you cannot do everything. Of course, you can do a lot of stuff, but not everything. So say yes to life, and because at the end of the day, the stories are what matters, and the stories are what you're gonna tell, and the stories are gonna develop and shape who you are and what you become. So hope this video was insightful, some cool ideas which you have not heard maybe in different videos, because I think these kind of videos are a lot of them online. But either way, stay sharp as always, make a move, and see you in the next video.